Oh, just look at that. That's a custard slice with a bit of party top. Hi everyone, welcome to Backyard Chef. I'm Rick. Today we are doing something which takes me back an awful long time. We are making a custard slice. Now we're going to have to work it out just a little bit because I am using the air fryer oven today. And I haven't made one in here before, so it's going to be a first time in that one. Now, we're just califudging in it basically. I've got a 10 by 10 tray, 10 inch by 10 inch, and it's about 2 inch deep baking tray. And what I've done, I've rolled out my ready rolled pastry and I've put this on there like that, and I've scored it out with a knife. I've got two squares. We need one at the bottom, one at the top. So this we don't need. So now we have these two squares. What we have to do, I think, because we're making this up, and it definitely doesn't fit the tray that comes with the oven, so we're going to turn the tray over, I think. And we're going to put the tray in the oven upside down. That's how we're going to do this. So I just make it up as we go along and it should work. Now, I got hooked on a custard slice years ago in a little bakery in Carlton Road, Barnsley. I don't think it'll be there now. It was there about 35 years ago or more. I've no idea. It's certainly a long time ago. It's probably about 36 years actually. But anyway, I got hooked on their custard slice. It was incredible. It was a good 2 inch thick. It was fantastic. I've been making custard slices since, but I make it my way. And now I'm adapting this for this oven. So we've got these two squares cut to that. We have to prick them all over. Now, the thing is with puff pastry, and ready rolled puff pastry like this, it will puff up. Now we only want it to puff up a little bit and not be fully elevated like a balloon. We just want that puff pastry base and top that you get on a vanilla slice. So the only way to stop it from puffing up is to dock it or prick it all over with a fork, put a million holes in it, and it will stop it from rising up, we hope. Now, we do want it to come up a little bit. Yes, we do. It's got to have something to it. It can't be completely flat. So that's one done. Let's do the other. Okay. Now what we have to do is come through this plastic. Okay. Now here's where we're going to adapt everything as per usual with my recipes. This has to go on some baking parchment. So that is quite simple. That's the first stage. We can just flip that over like that. We can take that plastic off there like that, and we can put another piece of baking parchment over the top of there. Now that's the easy job. So what we're going to do is just trim this. I don't want all that wafting around inside the air fryer. Like I say, we're going to adapt this by putting that on the tray because it doesn't fit. Okay, so this is a complete adaptation. This is where you learn to cook. Right, we're going to get the oven on and we're going to preheat it to 180. So I'll just do this other one because if we leave it like this, it's going to dry out. So let's get that on there. See, this is the fun part of it when you start to learn to cook and bake and things like that. It's like being back to school making little projects. It's really good. Right, we've got our tray. And we're just going to pick that up and put that on there. What we're going to do is stick it in the oven, but we're going to put that on top. In fact, what we will do, we will actually weight it with some ceramic baking beads. I think that might do it. So basically what's going to happen is everything's going to heat up. The tray and this thing, probably the beads as well, obviously. And I reckon that that is going to cook inside there perfectly fine and stay quite flat. So this is really an experiment, but it should work. Now normally you would bake this for about 15 minutes, and I think we're going to go about 20 minutes. 20 minutes, because I know we're using an air fryer. I know it normally cooks hotter, but I do believe with this weighted down on a tray like this, with this on top, we might need that extra 5. Okay, so we've got that. And what we need to do is bob that in there. So in it goes on that tray, upside down. It's going to be a heck of a job to get out, I'm sure. That's in there. And we are going to set the time for, well, we're supposed to be cooked for about 15 minutes. We're going to do 18 minutes in there. And let's see what happens. Okay, let's have a look. I'm not sure what we're going to get here, so I knew we'd have an issue getting this out. Right, let's have that off there. First job. Now I think that is wonderful. Oh, look at that. That will do. Beautiful. We're just going to put that on top of our pastry, the same as we had before. And this one is going in the oven. In it goes. Set that for another 18 minutes. Oops, gone down. And let that cook for 18 minutes. What an experiment. We're going to let that cool down whilst this one cooks, and then we're going to make a custard filling. Okay, there we go. That's number 2 out. So we got both top and bottom layer pastry done now. So let's have that off there. Be careful, everything is hot around here. Let's take that off and set to cool alongside the other one. So there we are then. Looking at that then, we've got 2 fantastic layers of pastry already made up. We've got a top and a bottom now. We just have to let that go cold. We're going to crack on and make a filling. Now it is going to be a little bit of a different way to make this filling. We're going to make a custard filling, but it ain't going on this. We are going to cool the custard first, and we're going to put the custard on top of this afterwards. You'll see what we're doing. Okay, we're going to crack on with the custard. Very, very straightforward. This is milk, and this is cream. So we're just going to warm that up. Warm it right up. Now it's going to be steaming. It's going to be hot, but we don't need to have it to overboil. So give it a nice... We've got to keep giving it a little stir as well, because milk tends to stick to the bottom of the pan. Now it's going to be a bit of an unusual custard this, because we're going to make it straight in the tin. So we're gonna have to actually line out this tin as well. So we've got a plan all coming together. Fantastic. So that's hot enough, look, you can see it's just started to boil. That'll do, off the flame. Now that's our egg yolks in there. We're gonna chuck our sugar in. We're gonna chuck our corn flour in. And I actually want some salt. Nearly forgot. I'll put a little bit of salt in there. Gotta have that salt to bring that flavour. We're gonna give all that a mix in there. And then we're going to add a little of our milk mixture. Give it a little beat round. A little bit more. Now with it being so hot, you don't want to put in too much at one go. A little bit more. So what we're doing at the moment, we're actually getting everything together and dissolving that sugar in here. Now adding colour is completely optional. You do not have to. But I'm going to add a little bit in there. It looks bright at the moment, but it'll be absolutely fine. Okay, and we're going to add that back to our milk. The flame back on. And we're going to add all that back to our milk. And now we are going to cook to thicken our custard. So it's not going to take very long to thicken. It will thicken very quickly actually with the corn flour mixture that's in here. So nice and steady. So make sure it doesn't stick around the edge of the pan. I'm just going to go in there with my vanilla. So we want about a tablespoon and a half actually. A teaspoon and a half actually. Get that in. Stir that through. So I'm just going to stir in a couple of tablespoons of butter. So we just lined out our tin and we are just going to plop that custard straight in there. Leave that, let it cool on the side, let it cool all the way down, and then it goes in the fridge. It's got to go in the fridge to set up. It's got to be completely cold before we can put all our slice together. Okay, so in my wisdom, I've decided to score this, and then I'm thinking why? Because I've actually gone quite a little way through the pastry to make it easy to cut. I had a brainwave, and my brainwave was telling me score the pastry and then it will be easier to cut into slices. But I'm not so sure it's such a good idea now I've done it, because that's still got to sit on top of the custard, or the custard's got to sit on the top of there. I'm not sure I've done the right thing there. So this is our custard. Now, this will come out of there. Do you know, I think what we're going to do, I think we are going to lay our pastry on top of there and then we're going to turn it out. However, like I say, I have come through a little bit too much, I reckon. So we're going to very carefully put that on there. first job of this very complicated idea. And then we're going to stuff that in there. I'm going to take that board and we're just going to flip it and go for it. That's all we're going to do. So we've gone for that. That gives us that, which is not properly set yet. Damn. But we're not worried. So we can neaten this up straight away by taking that off there. Let's just neaten up our custard. We are going to lay that pastry on top of there. Okay, so we're just neaten everything up, and then what we have to do you don't have to do it now, but it might be a good idea to do it now. We're just going to come through there nice and gently where we scored it. Now this was the idea. Now whether it works or not, I am not sure. So we've gone through there, but we are going to keep it all together because we're going to ice it. So we've got our custard slice already made like that. Now I want to put some icing over it. There's some icing sugar, and we want to be going in there with a little bit of milk. I've got 2 tablespoons there. Well, let's get this in, see if we can bring it all together. Now you just have to keep working this nice and gently till it all comes together in a sticky mass. Just a little bit more milk, not much. Right, we want a bit of icing on there. Okay, and I've got a little bit of chocolate in this plastic bag actually. So we're just going to screw that down there, and we're going to cut the end off here. Like that. And we are just going to not worried about any perfect lines or anything. Don't worry about that. I'm not even interested in straight. I'm not interested in straight lines. I'm just interested in getting a bit of chocolate on the top of there, like that. In fact, we can do a little bit more actually. Let's really put the chocolate on there. Okay, so I'm not bothered about actually having the fleur de lis or whatever it is, the fancy backwards and forwards on there with the chocolate. If I had some chocolate sprinkles, they'd just be on there. All I want is just a little bit of a design. Nothing special. It's a very quick one. So just get it on. Just drag it through. Drag it all the same way. It doesn't matter about going up and down. We're putting sprinkles on. And then quickly and that is our custard party slices made. Now that's not quite set up, so that's going to go back in the fridge. That'll go in the fridge for about an hour or so just to set up perfectly. That is our custard tart out of the fridge. Now, did we do the right thing by already slicing it. Oh, we could just well have done. It certainly made that bit easier. Made that bit easier too. Oh, just look at that. That's a custard slice with a bit of party top. Oh, fabulous. Come on, we need to get stuck in here and see what it's like. Now, really, what we should be doing is cutting these into fingers, because these are quite enormous. But hey, that's your choice. Come on, let's get dug in. Oh, look at the size of this thing. Come on. We can't do that. We're going to have to come in here. Oh, crunchy, crunchy, crunchy. Oh, we got that custard. Oh, we're in. We're in. Oh, look at that. Fabulous. Mmm. Wow. That is definitely worth getting stickied up for. That is superb. Custard's really nice. Now, I'm not an icing sugar fan, I must admit. I could eat this without any icing sugar on, with just the custard and the 2 layers. But you know, many people like icing sugar. That's fine. That is really delicious, actually. I'm going to take this top off. I'm going to give this a go. You've got that crunch all the way through to the bottom because we made the custard separately and put it on top. If we'd have put the custard on top of the pastry base and let it sit there, I always have not a complete soggy bottom on the base, but it seems to go soggy-ish. This way, it's not soggy at all. It's as crunchy as heck. So that might be a good plan, doing it this way. Overall, yeah, I think it was worth doing it that way, rather than just putting it all on and cutting it up. But you know, we can still cut these into 3. They're massive. They are really massive. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, and we'll catch you in the next video.